Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back to OC Power Players, where I interview some of the most successful people in Orange County. I'm Danny Flores, your host, and today's honored guest is Heather Sharfi, zooming in from Irvine. Heather holds a PH.D. in cancer biochemistry and brings a deep passion for innovation, collaboration, and integrative women's health. She thrives in dynamic environments, loves thinking outside the box, and is energized by solving complex problems with creativity and purpose. As the CEO and founder of Eve, she's combined her scientific background with holistic tools to support women in regulating their hormones, restoring fertility, and reconnecting with their bodies. She is especially passionate about building community, creating transformative programs, and fostering partnerships rooted in shared values and vision. Driven by curiosity and a commitment to growth, she is always looking for new ways to expand, impact, empower others, and evolve both personally and professionally. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this podcast.
Yes, so tell us kind of what you do and how you got into it so that our audience understands.
Sure. So I'll start. My business has many modalities, as you just mentioned. So first, I'll start with my clinic. So in my clinic, I see females mostly, and I help them balance their hormones. And I have many tools for that. I have nervous system regulation. Sometimes we do imagine therapy. Sometimes we just talk. And sometimes we get really weird and we start dancing and shake our body to just let go of any stress. Because today, 70% of women are imbalancing their hormone. And that's affecting every system of the body, which we will talk about. Now, in other modalities, like you mentioned, I do female circles, I do women clubs, I do wellness events, and I do many other things that brings the community together, because this is how we learn the best, especially females. We like to be together. We like the female energy, which is more nurturing in order to feel safe and regulate. So I do many intro classes, and sometimes I even do Let's Go Dance with the Moon events, which is my Moon Within event. I do a lot of stuff. So just follow me and see what's going on and join the next event.
Wow, that sounds like a kind of a disconnect from the world a little bit, to be able to come back to the reality of yourself and to be able to, in reconnecting with yourself, trying to get those hormones balanced out. Now, do you do, like, when you do check the hormones, do you do any like blood work to try to figure out what's off and what you work on, or how does that work?
So that is a fantastic question, and that takes me to the clinic, right?
Yes.
So in the clinic, when you go through the Eve method, we do not only, we look at your blood tests and results, because that gives us an overlook at what is inside your body today. I want to know what's going on with your vitamin D, your B12. Those are all immune system stuff. I want to know what's going on with your magnesium, because that will tell me how you sleep at night, etc., etc. So absolutely blood work, but that's not only what we do, what I do. I also look at what you eat. I also look at how you exercise. I also look at your emotional state. How much stress do you hold in your body today? Because stress is the main reason for hormonal imbalance.
So, okay, let's expand a little bit on that. Stress, but you have food that you intake. You also have supplements that you take or you don't take, or you don't take the right ones, or whichever, right? Whatever you're doing, how do you know? How much do those also contribute to your hormone level?
You obviously are well knowledgeable about all of this hormonal balancing, because that is exactly what we looked for. Okay, so once we see deficiency in your blood test, that tells us that the storage, because the blood tests are the storage. It's not really what's going on right now in the blood. It's like what's going on with your storage. And because of what's going on with food industry today, we do not have enough nutrients in the food itself. The cucumber that we eat today is not the same cucumber that we used to eat 100 years ago. It has less vitamin and less nutrients. So yes, we do need to take supplements today. And in my clinic, I go over all the supplements that you currently take. And some people take none, which is not good, as you can understand. And some of them take too much, which will activate inflammation in the body and reactivate or overactivate the immune system. So obviously balancing the supplements based on data coming from your body, which is the blood test and some kind of like lifestyle questionnaires that I ask, this is how we do it. In order to balance yourself back to alignment, there is a lot of stuff you need to align in order to get there. It is not just one pill will fix it. It is a whole lifestyle that you need to change in order to get back to that balance. And I will tell you that today, in this modern life, okay, it is not built for the balanced female. For example, the melatonin hormone window. This is 2 hours before you go to sleep and 2 hours after you wake up in the morning, okay? Now, for a male, they don't need the 2 hours after they wake up in the morning. They don't need melatonin relaxation after they wake up. They wake up, they have testosterone, cortisol, they go to work. Now, this life is built for that. But we females, we built for 2 more hours of inner calmness, of alignment. Because when melatonin is on, analytical brain is off, and we are connected to ourselves. So if we wake up in the morning and what we do is coffee, rushing, exercise, kids to school, that is not alignment. And that's kind of lifestyle I'm looking for when we want to go back to alignment.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much, I think, to go through. We can probably spend a whole day, but I wanted to try to go through just like the high level kind of things, the changes that can be made. And let's go back to the cucumber.
Okay.
Now, you go to the market and you can pick many different types of markets, but let's just generalize either organic versus non-organic. So let's work on, say, improving the quality of food that we intake, aside from non-processed foods, right? Because if all we eat is processed foods, we're putting a lot of bad stuff in our body. So if we go back and say, okay, we want to cut out the processed foods out, go non-processed, what's the difference between buying organic versus non-organic? Vegetables or anything else you can get, poultry, you can get eggs, you can get the meat, all of that can be organic.
So let's talk about that, because I don't know anybody who has enough money to just live organic today, right?
That's
So let's go
expensive.
to science, and
Yeah.
science give us a compromise.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the days, 100 years ago, everything was organic.
Right.
So we didn't have even, we don't need these kind of conversations. Only today, the conversations is like, what am I buying organic and what not? Because this is my salary, this is a fact. So let's make good choices, which is a good lifestyle.
Right.
So I would say, first of all, know the dirty 12. Okay? There are dirty 12 vegetables and fruits that you should never buy. Don't even eat it if it's not organic. Strawberry, blueberry, all of them with the soft shield are parts of those. So let's start with that. I prefer you won't even eat strawberry unless you buy an organic one. Because what you bring inside your body, the toxicity and the amount of power and energy your liver needs to work in order to clear that toxicity, it doesn't worth it. You don't get the antioxidant and the benefit from the strawberry that are good enough for what your liver and kidneys are doing due to toxicity. So first of all, let's start with that 12 familiar yourself with those 12
Right.
and only buy organic when it comes to that. But in general, everything that has a thick shield, banana, avocado, those are good. Don't spend your money on organic, right? Because everything stays in the shield and you eat the inside. It makes sense. That's what I'm saying. We need to be smart and look for the compromise.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So yes, it is very expensive to buy organic food. But if you're buying bananas, organic versus non-organic, because the peeling is so thick, you're getting the same banana, non-organic versus organic, right? The avocados, the melons, the watermelons,
Exactly.
everything that has a thick, right?
Exactly.
So you said the thin peeling, like the strawberries, blueberries, tomatoes, those
Tomatoes.
would all be organic. So that's very simple.
Yes.
So that's
another rules I want to talk, because you ask also a very hard question when it comes to dairy and meat.
yes.
So back in the days, again, this was not a proper question, because
Right.
meat is amazing and dairy is amazing for us. It's protein. We need protein to build muscle.
Right.
Today, it's actually inflammatory food. So moderation. You don't eat meat every day. You definitely don't eat red meat every day. Lean salmon is amazing, right? So be smart about what you consume, because everything you consume might have this activation of inflammation, which is activation of your immune system. And that will make your body focus only on fixing that instead of aligning yourself, instead of sending blood to your inner organs. Okay? That's what we want. But instead of taking all this energy and nourishing your inner cells and detoxifying your body, all the body is busy is detoxifying in the liver and regulating the immune system because it can act out.
Now, what if you're having, they talk about like free range chicken for the eggs, organic eggs, grass fed, all of that. Does that contribute to having better quality of poultry, meats?
Absolutely.
Milk, if you drink milk.
Absolutely. So in the egg that is free range, there is omega-3. There is no omega-3 in other eggs, or maybe like just a very small amount, right? So if chicken is free and running, the produce of her body is higher quality. It's better source of protein and it's better source of omega-3, which we need in order to cover all this nervous system, in order to have this communication between your mind and body. You need omega-3. So if you don't eat enough fish, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you eat good quality eggs. It's only a few dollars, and that, again, it's all about making good, smart choices. It's a good, smart choice.
Yes. Now, salmon, for example, farm raised or wild caught? I think there's a big difference, right?
I think there is a big difference, and I think you know the answer for that, because those things are now common sense, right? When we talk about fish, if the fish is swimming, it's using its muscle, right? So the muscle is high quality. But if the fish is swimming with other fish and there's a lot of poop and they eat poop, there's low quality.
Right.
Where the meat is and what it eats is what we consume as people. So make good choices, educate yourself, learn. And it's all about balance. There is no perfection, okay? Us humans are not perfect, and nobody today, as I said, has enough money to live that perfect life. But we can make better choices with our food, with the way we exercise, okay, to like strengthen that body, okay, and allow stress to leave your body, because we live in a very high stressed environment. Right.
So see, now we've gone kind of like through the food, right? We kind of covered that. Now let's talk a little bit about supplements. There's a lot of supplements to buy all over the place. You can get different vitamins, different brands, different costs. Amazon has so many choices. I would imagine there's a more quality supplements that your body will absorb. And there's maybe supplements that are not as high quality that you just take them, you're spending your money, they go right through your body and they really don't do what they're supposed to do, right? So that's another thing is you're going to take quality versus more cost-effective ones.
Yeah, so let's start by telling everybody that the FDA, that government side of America, is
Yeah.
not controlling supplements. They are not in charge of what's inside. And therefore, many companies can write whatever they want, but nobody checking the inside, unless you have a V of saying third party checked. So how about we start with only those supplements that another lab and scientists like me checked what's inside? That would be
Mm-hmm.
a great beginning, right?
Right.
And then I would say, look for the research that this company did. If they spend money on research, they spend money on going to all this expo and find the best source for their inside supplement.
Right.
Obviously, if you work with a fertility coach or a woman health specialist, I will tell you what companies are my favorite. But let's
Right.
assume nobody or not everybody can afford a consultant. So
Right.
at least start by researching the
Right.
supplements that you take. Don't just listen to a podcast and decide, oh, that sounds amazing, I'm going to take it. No, that might actually activate inflammation in your body. And I see it again and again because when women come to my clinic and they're suffering and they're in pain, they already have 15 different supplements they take a day in average. My job is actually take it only to 3 or 4. They don't need 15. We need
Right.
a multivitamin or a prenatal. We need this omega-3, and I explain why, because
Mm-hmm.
your nervous system is not working, and that
Yeah.
is the messenger between mind and body. In order
Right.
to align the body, you need the messenger, and that
Right.
messenger needs very good high quality fat, which is the omegas. And the third one, look at your blood tests. Sometimes they don't even recommend. They say, oh, you're completely deficient in vitamin D. Okay, the next move is recommend a supplement. Oh, you're completely deficient in B12. The next move is recommend a supplement. And that,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know how to advocate for yourself today, their only job today is to tell you the results. What you do with
Right.
that is on you. So get your education, advocate for yourself, ask questions, find what's good for your body, because being deficient in vitamin D is not good to any organ in your body. And many
Right.
of us, especially in America, and I live in California, this is the sunny state. We still
Yeah.
suffer from low vitamin D. And
Right.
in research, it was linked to many disorders and diseases, including cancer. So please make sure you not only take vitamin D if you're deficient, also make sure you take the right kind of vitamin D and check again to see that you're actually observing that vitamin D, if it makes sense.
Right. No, no, no. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now that we have our food and our vitamins, how about sleep? How
Oh,
important is it to sleep and to sleep properly? Because just because you get in bed and you think you're sleeping doesn't mean that you're properly ready to sleep.
so that is my specialty. As
Uh-huh.
I mentioned, the melatonin hormone is the top hormone of all other hormones. If you do not have your melatonin balanced, you won't have your estrogen, you won't have your cholesterol, you won't have your LH, FSH, and then you have problems in your cycles and obviously hormone problems. But
Mm-hmm.
also for guys, testosterone, libido, this is all melatonin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, blue screen, any kind of screen, will affect your melatonin because melatonin sits in your pineal gland. And that is the place of the circadian clock, your biological clock, the one that knows when it's light and when it's dark, because it needs to know when to secrete melatonin and not to secrete melatonin. So you need to balance that melatonin first. And I say lifestyle, going back to the original design of the human, will balance your melatonin. If you go outside in the first part of your day, in the morning, you have receptors on your eyes to feel the sun ray to regulate your melatonin.
So are you saying that in the morning, part of a morning routine, when we wake up, maybe we should take 5 minutes outside so our bodies know it's daytime?
And 2 hours before you go to sleep, dim the light. Go to red light. Do not interfere with the secretion of melatonin. Now, I'm going to tell you, this melatonin window, again, 2 hours before you go to sleep, 2 hours after you go to sleep, is in charge of deep healing of your body. For example, your brain has different wavelengths. The deep sleep wavelengths will be a theta and delta wavelength. That is when melatonin is being secreted. If you're interfering with your screen, with light, etc., and not regulating your melatonin, you won't even have enough melatonin to get to the deep sleep. Now, in deep sleep, the immune system is being balanced. Your hormones are being balanced. Your liver is working really hard to detoxify. Your lymphatic system, the one that is clearing up toxin from your body, is working. And there is this really special liquid being secreted to your brain to clean the brain in order to prevent foggy brain and neurodegenerative diseases. So yes, please make sure you get into this deep sleep. That is number one on lifestyle, and it's very easy to fix. All you need, again, is educate yourself. Make very small changes in your routine, and you will get there. Because the body wants to be balanced. The body knows how to be balanced.
So reducing, you said blue screen. How much time before bedtime should we all stop looking at emails, looking at TikTok, watching TV, all of that to prepare our bodies to wind down for a good quality sleep that night?
As I said, 2 hours before bedtime, 2 hours after bedtime, melatonin window. If you respect the window, you will get the top optimal secretion of melatonin.
And you said red light also, so perhaps get a couple red light lamps in the house, maybe an hour or two before you sleep. You switch off the regular lights, you turn on the red lights, and
if you don't want to change into red light, which I understand because it's weird, you can just don't open the ceiling lights. Just open floor lamps, like lower, because the receptors are in the upper side of your eyes. So knowing that kind of stuff, making those small changes, it goes a long way to your health.
Right. And then so that basically covers everything you can directly control behavior-wise. And then the other part, like you said, is going through maybe to your classes, getting together, talking, releasing stress. And you also have to think sometimes, well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but stress is also caused by our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Right? And a lot of times it's about things that we haven't done that we know we should do. So maybe being able to work on making to-do lists and start literally checking things off so that we don't have to worry about things that we should have done that we haven't done. This way we get them done, and that also could contribute to a more relaxed life and on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And I would say you don't even need to come to a class. Learning what nervous system regulation or somatic practice is, it's all available for free on YouTube. Everything is free today. Just look it up. It's targeted exercises for your nervous system. It is training for your nervous system in order to release stress because the body is holding the stress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you can get stress from work, you can get stress from life, you can hold stress from your childhood, or you can feed stress into your body by worrying, right?
Right,
If
right.
you start mindful, like just being mindful of what's going on before you go to sleep. At that time, just be a little bit more mindful. Maybe do a short meditation. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
do breath work. Maybe go for a walk. Maybe just go outside and look at something red or
Mm-hmm.
something green, because those colors, they affecting our nervous system and they regulating it. So you have everything within your lifestyle today. You don't need to do it for hours or tell me you're too busy to do it. Trust me and all my clients, we are all very busy people, but we still find 10 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes before we go to sleep, and few minutes along the day to regulate ourselves, to check with ourselves. You just need to learn how to do it. And then the body remembers and it does it all the time. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
stay regulated.
Yeah, no, this is like really interesting. And I think these are just small behavioral changes that you're talking about that could have great positive effects for you.
Absolutely.
Um, and they don't have to, I guess we've talked about a lot of things, and I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, you don't have to change overnight. That's very difficult. That's a recipe for failure. But perhaps you can make a list of things you want to change and change maybe one at a time until you've become part of a new behavior, a new routine. And as you change one, then you go change the next one, and you go change the next one. And then you look back 6 months from now, you're like, wow, it's a whole complete routine, life routine, but then you also feel totally different.
And that is exactly what I do in my clinic, because we don't activate overwhelmness of your nervous system by doing everything in one day. That is too much as well.
Yeah.
So I always say an airplane, when it flies, it goes really fast, straight. But if you
Hmm.
just move 1 degree to the right, you get to a completely different destination. I don't want you to go 30 degrees to the right, because then you activate your nervous system because it's starting to ask questions. Wait, is this safe? What is going on? Is it safe? And then
Yeah.
we activated instead of
Right.
regulating. So
Yeah.
also doing that. And my motto is become the best version of yourself. So
Right.
that is not 1 day journey. This is
Mm-mm.
a life journey. But
Yeah.
again, education, trying, making changes in your lifestyle,
Hmm.
daily lifestyle,
Right.
that's how we get there. So choose what's good for you, choose what works for you, choose what is like makes you happy. Like for
Right.
example, many female, we do skin routine every night. Why not also doing a skin routine and activating or actually draining our lymphatic system, which is right
Hmm.
here? And that will also be part of our skincare because we'll have less wrinkles.
Hmm.
That is very healthy for us, and it takes less than 5 minutes. We just need to know that it's very helpful, learn how
Right.
to do it, and then do it slowly. And within 21 days, your brain doesn't even remember a like a version of you that did not do it. That's how it works.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So you can become a new person in 21 days.
So you get neuroplasticity, which means new neurons are being built in your brain for a new
Mhm.
habit, 21 days. That's why going to the gym is so hard. But if you do it for 21 days, it's actually easy. In order to forget completely of a version of you that didn't go to the gym, 70 days. Because those neurons are working and it's an electromagnetic system. So
Right.
all the electricity goes through them as if this is you. What do you mean not going to the gym? That is how the brain is working. And we learn as the human design is working with the human design, with our biology, not
Hmm.
against it. Because once we go against it, we find ourselves again dysregulated, out of alignment, fight or flight mode of the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
There, we see autoimmune diseases, chronic inflammation, diabetes, and also cancer. So in my clinic, I see a lot of those symptoms going down just because of regulation.
Amazing. Amazing what lifestyle changes can do to your health and your future health too, right? I mean, we want to live as long as possible, but as healthy as possible too. Living a long time unhealthy is no fun for anyone. But if you can change your lifestyle and get those years healthy, those healthy years, that would be an amazing life.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing, Heather. Life-changing disciplines that can just increase your health tremendously. So as we get ready to wrap up the interview, what exciting things are you working on in the next 6 to 12 months?
As I said, we're all very busy. So I'm going to launch a book. And the name of the book is Know Herself. It is obviously a book for the female.
Mm-hmm.
And the subtitle is The Bridge Between Old Wisdom and New Science. So as you can imagine, in this book, there is everything from knowing your body parts as a female and learning how to regulate that part. And also the Eve method of like how you change this small lifestyle. Those are the recommendations. This is the science today. Pick whatever you can because everything you do to change will have a big effect if you do it again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of it is know your subconscious forces. So I'm very excited about that book. I think that book is going to help so many women on this journey of how am I gaining or reclaiming my health back.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, good luck with that book. When does it come out so we can keep an eye on it?
Well, as you said, within the 6 months to the 12 months, it's
Okay.
not my hand. I finished writing it. That was my part. Now
Okay.
the universe part.
Okay. Very good. Amazing. Well, congratulations on what you're doing to help women. I think it's very necessary. Any help we can get, and we don't always know what to do, you're there as a resource. If somebody's listening to us and wants to get a hold of you and get more information, how can they do that?
So first I will say follow me on Instagram because this is where I put the health tips regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What's your handle? What's your handle on Instagram?
it's Heather Sharfi, PH.D.
Okay.
And if you want to get my newsletter, with scientific data and really follow up on the science, what's going on today in female science, that will be going to my website and signing up there with your email, and I will send you that kind of newspaper. And if you want to become part of this, all my events are on my website and in Instagram. So just stay tuned.
What is your website address so that people can find you easily?
It's www.eveeverything, one word, eveeverything.com.
Very good. Well, thanks so much, Heather, for coming on, and to our audience as well. Thank you for listening. Please go to ocpowerplayers.com and follow us on your favorite channel. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you so much, Danny. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.